let's make some ranch coleslaw. So I have already trimmed the cabbage a bit, and my husband's been eating it off and on all week, so this is really all that's left. But it's fine because we just want a little bit of coleslaw to go with our dinner today. So we're going to slice it extremely thin. If you would like to grate it, you may. However you want to, whatever you want to do. Whatever works best for you. I like to use my, I like to just cut it. And I decided to try something new today with the ranch. I've had blue cheese coleslaw, but I've never had ranch coleslaw. But it is a thing. And so I just got done making homemade ranch on a previous video you will find of mine. And so we're going to try ranch coleslaw today with our chicken perlo that I will be making next. So just cut it as thin as you possibly can, This isn't going to make a lot, but that's okay. I'm going to use as much of this sucker as I possibly can get off. I do have another head of cabbage I bought. It's extremely tiny. Looks like a giant Brussels sprout. So I'm trying to save it because I'm going to do something else with that. But that was supposed to be my coleslaw, but it ended up being so tiny that hubby graciously said I could have the rest of this when he's been eating. So that's what we're doing. I was going to put it in this big bowl with the lid, but I think I can, because it's such a small amount, I'm going to put it right in here. This is the bowl I just made my ranch dressing in, so we're just going to actually add it right to that. And I think that will be, that's a decent amount. In fact, I might have a hard time trying to stir it up, but that's all right. Anything to save dishes, right? So we got a little bit more here we can get. I'm trying not to get the hard core, but I think we still got more we can go. I like the white part anyway, as long as it isn't too bitter. I'm half blind, so. Alright, that's core there. Got a little bit we can use here. Just go ahead and cut this off. Yeah, I see. Alright. Alright, I guess that's about as close as I can get. Whoops. Just chop that up a bit. There might be a piece of core there. Alright. So we're going to go with that for our cabbage. I might have to wait and add that in. And I'm going to add a carrot. Instead of using the little grater, I'm just going to use my peeler and try to make, just choppy little shreds like that. Yeah, you're right. We're going to put this in the big bowl. I'll never be able to stir that without losing half of it to the floor. Alright. So, like I said, we made ranch dressing a few minutes ago. It's on a different video. And we're going to use that today for ranch coleslaw. And I think coleslaw takes a decent amount of mayonnaise. Let's start with that. Go ahead and put our carrot in there. I hope this is good. I don't usually do ranch because we'll put our coleslaw on top of our perlo, so if it don't taste right, they're not going to be happy with me today. Not sure if the ranch flavor is going to go, but it's a little big there, and so is that. We're gonna let this sit with a lid on it for a few minutes, and then it'll kind of break that cabbage down a bit and not be quite as dry and stiff. So I don't want to over liquid it, because as it breaks down, I don't want it to be runny. I don't like runny coleslaw. All right. That looks pretty decent. There's a big chunk. It might be hard for someone to eat, so I think that'll be a perfect taste test. It tastes like ranch. Hopefully they like it. I like it. I think it's good. So we're gonna let those flavors meld together a little more. And we'll be serving it up later on top of our chicken pillow. There you go. Ranch coleslaw. Simple. So I have decided that I don't think my husband will like the ranch coleslaw as much as my daughter and I will. So I'm going to make him, with this little bit of cabbage I had left that I didn't add to the bowl, I'm going to make him just the regular basic coleslaw. I'm not going to really measure anything out. So we're going to give probably about, I'm going to say, because that is a small amount of cabbage, so that's probably more mayonnaise than I need, actually. You don't like it too wet. All right, so let's just say tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half. But you probably won't ever be using this small amount of cabbage anyway, so a little bit of mayonnaise. Instead of buttermilk, he's getting a splash of apple cider vinegar. Just a tiny splash. Like probably not even 1/8 of a teaspoon. Some salt. I have to keep in mind I'm working with such a small amount of cabbage here. I don't usually do that. Just like a single serving. We'll give him some onion powder, some garlic, this is celery, not celery salt, just plain celery. That's why I added the salt. This is how I normally do my basic coleslaw. I just tried something new today with the ranch, but after making, decided I don't think he'll like it. Pepper. I usually do just a splash of milk, but I don't know if I'm going to do that today because it's such a small amount. I don't want to make it too watery. Alright, so we're just going to, I like to just mix that up first. Because sometimes it's hard to toss all your cabbage. And we're going to give him the rest of this cabbage and carrot that I didn't put in the other one. So I think he'll be much happier with that today. Alright, so I mean, it's really not much, but it's enough just for him for this one meal. And then the daughter and I will eat the ranch. I just hope my seasonings are okay because it's such a small amount to work with. I have no idea, but I'm about to, I saw a big chunk in here that might be hard for him to eat. All right, we'll try that. I think it needs a tad more vinegar, actually. Hopefully that wasn't too much. And actually a tad of salt. Alright, that might be good. He don't like a lot of salt like I do, but gotta have flavor too. Let's see. I don't want to take too many taste tests because you don't have much here to begin with. Alright, I think he'll be much happier with that. That's good. Alright. So this will be his today. And ours is still sitting here. I haven't even made it to the refrigerator yet. Since I literally just made it. So we've got two. The ranch. You can't hardly tell them apart, but Because the dill and the pepper, they almost look like the same thing. But they sure taste different. All right, so that's that. I just wanted to do that real quick.